the relevance here, I think, for our audience, David, is that many of our tech leaders won't see themselves as salespeople, but they have to convince people to buy into their strategy. They've got to buy into their ideology of how to do the job the very best way for the business and also for the resources they've got available. And I guess the only way you can do that is influence their emotions, right? Through the power of story.
Exactly. This isn't selling. This is leading. A leader is somebody who points to the future and says, I think we should go this way. And then you turn and say to other people, come with me. To do that, we need this different kind of language, this more human language that's narrative, which is the language of leadership.
Sure. And how innovative do you have to be then, David, to sort of start to have the headspace to think about how am I going to tell a story that's going to influence someone in the direction I want them to go? Where does that come from?
It comes from intentionality. This is strategic. If you met your friends for drinks last night, or if you sat down at the table with your family, you told stories. Nobody told you to do this. Nobody said, to create bonds of connection with your friends or family members, narrative language would create. We do this naturally, but we're not doing it when we step into the organizational system. And so the intentionality of there's work that I care about, I need to move through the world. I don't need people to just understand it. I need them to believe and be excited, be engaged. Those are emotion words. We need this emotion language. So the way I approach this is strategic. We're not telling stories because it's fun, because it feels good. We're telling stories because there's something we need to happen. And so we start with that outcome, and then we work backwards. What are the narrative assets, the value holding stories that will get us to that outcome that we're looking for?
Wonderful. Can you give us some examples?
I've got more. I've got lots of stories.
Great.
So, okay, here's a good one. This is card number 1 in the leadership story deck. It's called A Leader with Conviction. There's a reason I'm here. This one's a personal story. Not all the stories that we tell as leaders will be about us. A lot of them will be about the team or the customer or the partners, but some of them are personal. And there's a reason why this is card number 1 in the deck. It's the first card. It's a really flexible story. Tell us why you're here. Why do you care about the work? And the why I'm here story can be why this organization or why this industry. You have a new why I'm here story every time there's a new project, the new thing we're bringing forward. There's a reason I care about this. Let me tell you why I care about this. And the idea is that when we see your belief is socially transferable. Your belief becomes our belief as well. And so one of the features of the story deck is on the back is an example of what these stories sound like. These are all real stories that I've heard people tell. This one is, I'm going to read the example on this card. And this is from a guy in Munich. I did a project with Microsoft in Munich, Germany. I still remember the guy. It was a young guy. This is the story that he told. Here's his why I'm here story. Tell me what you notice about this. Oh, I don't have enough light on in here. Okay, I'm gonna have to, there we go. Here's what this young guy said. He stepped up in front of the group and goes, I started my career as a paramedic. And I remember my first night out in an ambulance. I was just 23 years old at the time. And we responded to a call for a car accident. And it was a girl whose car had flipped and went into a ditch, and she was unconscious. And we did everything we could to save her, but we couldn't find any medical information on her. We couldn't give her blood or medication, and she died while I was searching through her purse. With data, we could have saved her. It made me angry. And so I went back to school and got my master's degree in healthcare informatics. And the reason I joined this team is because these people share that same feeling of urgency for bringing actionable data to healthcare. I can't help that girl in the car for my first night as a paramedic, but we have helped a lot of people since then. And working with this team, I intend to help many, many more.